All right, we are live for the Sunday market breakdown. It is Sunday, the 10th of November, well into Q4 at this stage. Hope everybody's had a good week. For those of you joining the very first time and just stumbling across this video, it is going to be about Forex trading. My name is James. I am a trader. I do this live stream every single Sunday where I break down the trades that I take during the week, each and every week, using the level-based system that I follow in my trading. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'll go ahead and share my screen here so you can see what we're going to be looking at. So as I said, Sunday market breakdown, what we'll be covering today are the trades I've taken this week. I'm also going to be covering off a little bit quickly on how I trade, what exactly makes a trading setup for me, as well as looking at why I took all the trades that I took. Q&A is always open and available to anybody that has questions along the way. That's why I am live as opposed to just doing this recorded and then uploading it to YouTube, which I am terribly inconsistent at, to be honest. But these live streams I've done every single week for the last 20 weeks. And then the last thing we're going to do is check the economic calendar. To those of you joining, welcome. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a good weekend wherever you are, whatever time of the day it is for you. Jan, good evening. Burrito99, hello. Yuji, what's up? Hope you've all had a good week in the markets. One of the reasons why I do these live streams every single week, even though it's basically the same thing week in, week out, which is kind of the point, right? I'm not changing my message. I'm not telling you to do something different week to week. It is literally a case of me showing up to you guys each week and showing you that this is what it actually takes to be successful in the markets. Being a profitable trader has almost nothing to do with your strategy. As controversial as that may sound, your strategy is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. The strategy given to 5 different people, whichever strategy it may be, will output 5 different results. So it cannot be the strategy that the success of your trading is reliant upon. It can only be you. You have to realize that in trading, you are the edge. Right? That's why some people can do it and some people can't. I believe anyone can trade. It's not something that any of us are born with as a skill. You know, we don't just have this natural ability to be able to pull profits from the markets. Therefore, it is a skill, which is good news, because if you can't trade currently, it is something that you can learn how to do, because it is not natural. To be good at it almost requires you to go against every basic human instinct that you have. And yeah, it's just, for me, trading, I love it. It's like personal development on steroids. It's the biggest teacher of life. Many, many lessons that apply to trading, apply to everything else. And you have to be consistent. If you want consistent profits, you've got to take consistent action on a daily basis. And the best way to do that is to put everything that's required into a routine. Do the routine for a minimum of 90 days. And you will form a habit. And now that it's habitual, it will become part of your life, and it will almost seem like you are doing nothing, or at least the effort required to actually make it happen is incredibly minimal. And all of a sudden, you'll be making leaps and bounds of progress in your trading. So, Forex trading. How is it that we've arrived here? What is leveled FX? I will just cover this off real quick. So I'm going to jump over to my browser. I run this community. It's completely free to join. Everything that I teach in here is completely free. So anybody now, if you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, when he's going to pitch us a course now, there's nothing to buy here. You can come in here. We've got the classroom where if you know absolutely nothing about trading, Forex, financial markets, do not worry. Just go through the Start Here course. I try to give you everything that I think you need to get you to a point where you can trade successfully without bombarding you with the intricate details of how the financial markets work. You know, there are courses for that if you really care to go through it. Things like Baby Pips, babypips.com. I believe this content is free, but it is a a huge amount of information, and even if you go through all of the courses, at the end of it, you will not be able to trade profitably. You will just have a better understanding of the financial markets, what they are, not really how they work necessarily, and definitely not how you can make money from it. So yeah, there's the Start Here course for that, where you can dive into it and actually go through the stuff. If you want to join this community, the link is in the description. It's school.com/leveledfx. And then there's the masterclass. The masterclass is the leveled system. This is how I trade. It's how I teach new people to come into the markets. I also do run a paid community as well. Shock, horror. That's right. You will at some point, you may feel the urge to give me money. If that's you, thank you. I appreciate that. That's called commitment to yourself and to actually, treating this trading thing seriously. So it's currently $125 a month. If that's a lot of money to you and that already makes you feel stressed and anxious and all of the negative vibes that come with money concerns, then it's definitely not for you. You can get by with everything that's in the free community. I give nothing extra right now in the premium. So you'd be asking, why should I join that then, James? Well, the only reason you would join the paid community is because you want access to me. And obviously, access to me, I'm going to have to charge something for that in order for me to be consistent. Because if I get nothing in return, it's one thing to want to help out, and I really do get a lot from the feedback that I get inside the community. And, just seeing certain posts like this one from Alex this week, his last week of trading, I believe it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trades there, all winning. New Zealand yen, I'm also in that. But one of the things that I do in Leveled FX is I'm not, this is not a signal service. This is not something that whereby you rely on me for the rest of your life. No, I focus on developing traders. So I'll teach you an approach. You don't have to trade the way that I do, although if you do join, it is going to be highly beneficial if you do trade at least with the same approach. Everybody in the community will take different trades. However, we all will look at similar setups. And the way I trade has an incredibly high hit rate. I'm quite surprised that I don't get a lot of pushback from the YouTube community on this, because I do often show 100% win rates for the week. It's just how it goes sometimes. I don't take a lot of profit from each trade. I take my profits at what I call the first area of potential struggle. I will get into that on the charts when we get into that on the charts. But so it's not a brag that I have such a high hit rate, because there are other trading strategies that have a lower success rate, but the profits that you will take in terms of from a risk reward standpoint, you will actually capitalize a lot more. You will make a lot more gain for the risk that you took. Whereas I'm quite happy with a negative risk reward. Again, this is probably not something that is talked about very much. It's definitely not a sexy thing to talk about, because people, I think, have the wrong expectation with trades. They think that taking a loss is okay. And to a degree, I agree with that. But in my hierarchy of importance in trading, there are three things that you need to protect. The first is psychology, the second is your capital, and the last thing is focusing on your profits, right? Your P&L. So those are the three most important things in trading, and in that order. So if you're doing things that affect your psychology, that's going to be very, very bad for your trading. Therefore, you can't think about how much money you're going to make on a trade. Or this is when you see people like take a loss on a trade, and then the next trade they go like twice as hard, but they're just chasing the trade at this point. It's a very common early newbie mistake. But the reason people do that is that's a psychological issue that you're facing at the time. So you've really got to get a handle on that. Capital, obviously, if you're thinking about getting into a trade, the first thing you want to think about is this trade worth risking the capital that I currently have in my account? And then lastly, it falls to your P&L, which I never suggest focusing on at all. The only time I will ever look at my P&L typically is the end of the week, end of the month, that type of thing. in a given trading day, I just don't care. I think the best way to trade is to reset to zero every day. I'm not interested in my P&L, what the number is. I know what I'm looking to take in the markets, and I'm just playing the game, and that's it. And everybody can get to that level. It's really easy for me to sort of say that now, sitting where I am. You know, I am a funded trader as well. I have over $1 million in capital, as well as my own personal accounts, which are plentiful also at this stage. So, you know, I do come at this from a place of sitting pretty, people might say. But I was once where you were, and trading did not come easy to me. It was something that I struggled with a lot, especially being somebody that I consider to be someone, well, I think of myself as someone that picks stuff up pretty easily and can just take to them without really too much faffing about. Like I usually, you know, can learn a new skill pretty fast. Trading was not the way, was not like that at all for me. I had a lot of trouble with a lot of things, taking trades too early, taking profits too early, taking profits too late. Revenge trading, like biggest one, not trading my plan. That was a huge one for me, which I see that in others. I've talked to several people in the free community this week about this particular topic, which is sticking to your plan. I asked one person if they would be willing to share with me their last 3 months of trading history. This is prior to finding me, right? They said, because I wanted to review how many of the trades they took were actually planned trades, and they said that probably none of them were actually planned trades, and that is just a huge red flag. If that's you, you are a gambler. If you don't like what I'm saying, then eventually you will just have to come to terms with that. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to just be very real and raw, truthful about the Forex markets and what it takes. This is all from my own personal experience. I have no education in financial markets or the finance sector, if you will. But, you know, I feel like I'm not that far from being in a position where things were very difficult for me. Yeah, the last 5 years have been quite the ride, and I'm trying to. You're still going to have to go through the learning curve. You're still the only way to get better at Forex and just trading in general. Like I also trade commodities like oil, metals like gold and silver, and I do occasionally trade the odd crypto, but it is as a CFD, not as, you know, not on a crypto exchange. The only way to get better as a trader is experience in the markets, but experience with tracking what you're doing. If you don't track what you've done, you may as well not have done it. So if you're taking losses and not tracking or reviewing what you did and trying to learn something each day from your activity in the markets, you are basically just wasting your money like a degenerate gambler. And there's no way of buttering that up. Like that is exactly what's going on there. So you need to really cut that out and get yourself back on track. Just going to check on the comments here. TH Target, hello. Bernard, it's Bernard. Good to see you, buddy. Jan also had an amazing trading week thanks to following James's approach. 99% hit rate. Yes, that's it. And you know, Jan will also be sitting there from a place of not wanting or needing to brag. It's just how it happens. And we'll get into that in just a moment. So anyway, that was the school community that I run. It's Leveled FX. If you want to join, there's plenty of people joining. I don't know how many. We're at over 700 members now. I'm sure there's a fair few bots in there as well, and a few scammers trying to sell you something. But there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately, other than kick them out on a daily basis. But it is quite tiring. Obviously, what they do works, so they keep coming back. But yeah, please don't fall for that. Just a side note, if you are in the community and somebody messages you, particularly if they message you with their name changed to my name and their photo with my photo, it's not me. I will never approach you asking you for money or you to send me crypto or for you to go and check out this really cool thing that I've just seen. So yeah, please don't do that. I will never message you. I care not to be, I will only message you if we're actually talking about something. So anyway, these live streams that I do always tend to go over on time, and it's probably because I waffle on far too much about topics that you probably didn't come here to hear about. However, I have a duty to make sure that you hear about them because nobody else really talks about it, the important stuff enough. So I'm going to talk about it, and eventually the penny will drop, and you guys will be, your eyes will be open to how, I don't want to say easy, because I often say that Forex is the hardest way to make easy money, but it really is simple. The problem is always going to be you. So trading will, just like all the things that irritate you in your life and that cause you to be emotional, like if you get angry or you get upset or whatever these emotional triggers are for you, it's always life putting a mirror in front of you. It's always something that you need to fix when that's coming up for you. And trading is no different to that. When you take a loss, there is absolutely always something to learn from it. Always. So if you do ever have a bad week, and if you're watching this now because you just lost a ton of money in the markets and YouTube has somehow served me up in front of you as a last hope, a last resort, a shining light at the end of the tunnel, a beacon of hope, as it will, then the best way for you to overcome how bad you're feeling right now is to go and review what you did this week. And the very first thing that I would ask is take your trading history, download it, put it into a spreadsheet, and mark up each trade that you took. Put it in TradingView, blow it up, look at it, and ask yourself, why did I take this trade? And if you can't answer that question, say that you can't answer that question and move on to the next one. So mark that as trade not in plan, or I'm a degenerate gambler. Next to each trade that's like that. And when you get to the end, at least you will have your answer as to why you're not able to make money in the markets. But it will be gleaming right at you. Like, it will be so obvious that you would have learned something from it, and now you can take that forward into the new week. Even however little it may be, I'm always trying to find new things from what I'm doing. I'm always seeing things, asking myself new questions. And the reason that I do that is simply because I'm trying to improve every single year. So my big thing is, like, I review every single week, but the quarterly review for me is probably one of the most important ones. That's where I review like how I'm performing so far this year. And am I happy with my performance so far? And, look at the things that I can really improve on. There'll always be something. What do we got? Alex. Alex was just talking about your trades. Good to see you here. So, yeah. And you guys, if you have any questions or comments along the way, I am in a particularly talkative mood this Sunday. So I try and make these a little bit different each week because just running through my trades that I took, yes, you can learn something from it, because the main thing is that, oh, look, the price came to a level and James took the trade. Oh, and it worked at the first area of potential struggle. Oh, and look, here's another one, and that did the same. This is the same stuff over and over and over again. So there is that to learn. Also, consistency. What is James doing each week? He's showing up every single Sunday to share this stuff with us guys on YouTube. Yes, you don't have to do that. You can just do that in the comfort of your own home. But the thing is, nobody will be there to watch you. You guys are all watching me, so I've got to make sure that I'm on it. So yeah, that really has improved my own trading as well, being here in the community. Does anybody have any questions at this point, or should I just stop rambling and get into it? There is a delay on YouTube as well, so if I ask you that, I'm probably not going to get anything. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, let's go. Yuji says, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. All right. So the week, incredibly slow start to the week. Everybody who's watching this back may have no idea what happened this week. So I'll just go ahead and say it. Mr. Donald Trump became, I think, the 48th president of the United States. So it was a nice clean finish, at least it has been so far. Not like what we had in 2020, where it went on forever. So Trump has won, and off the back of that, we've seen an incredibly bullish dollar. On the, was it Tuesday night going into Wednesday? So it was this day when I had euro dollar, dollar CAD. These trades here were all leading into the decision on who was going to be president. So again, just showing you that the level system works incredibly well despite volatile conditions. You just have to be aware that the conditions are volatile and therefore choose levels that are further away. But we'll get into that now. So enough of this. First trade I took was on Bitcoin this week. So real quick overview of how I trade. So typically I like the higher time frames. People immediately assume that means I'm in trades for days and weeks and months. It does not mean that. I am a day trader. I'm usually in and out of a trading position within a few hours, tops. Sometimes as little as a minute, sometimes as much as 8 hours, right? But I don't, there is no timer. I'm not like going, okay, that's 8 hours, let's get out. Just on average, that's kind of how long it lasts. So don't be put off by the fact that I use the higher time frames. If you want to trade the lower time frames, this is just my opinion. Obviously, there are amazing traders and they make really good money and they're fantastic at scalping and doing all the rest of it. I do not want to replace my job with a new job. And so to not make trading a job for you, I really don't recommend scalping as a strategy unless you enjoy sitting there watching the charts. If you do, we're probably not going to vibe too much because my whole thing is about creating freedom from trading, not just giving yourself another job, a very high stress job at that. So I don't trade the lower time frames, only the higher time frames. I use the lower time frames just to see like what's going on in the finer detail, but to get into a trading position, I'm never going to be looking at the lower time frames. I do not want to have a heart attack and die young. So that's why I don't trade them. So the 4 hour time frame is what I like to trade off the most. I do look at the daily and the weekly. Just to keep an eye on those levels because they are the strongest levels. They have the most significance. However, they can quite often miss. And so what I like to do is come down to the 4 hour and trade what I call the intraday levels, which are 4 hour candle body closes on the chart. Okay. So, and something went on with the charts this week where things started skewing a bit. Like, I'm pretty sure this level on Bitcoin was actually here. But we got in there. Ah, yeah, that's right. So this level has moved. It should have been there. There's some issue with the IC markets data feed this week. But you get the idea anyway. It's a 4 hour candle body close here. What I look for is a strong move into the level. So the idea is, if you have a strong move in, these lines, horizontal lines on my chart, are what I call levels. I refine them to candle body closes. So this is a level, right? This is a level, and you can see it worked here. So if we were to rewind price back to here, right? You'd be identifying this level at the beginning of the day. This is my planning. I checked for the level was here. So what I'm looking to see that day is a nice strong move into the level. And what will happen when price gets there is price won't just keep smashing through it in one straight line. Price doesn't move like that. Price will have to come back and give us some profits here for whoever is in that short position moving the market. So let's call it the big money, the big boys, the banks, whoever, like Santa Claus. It doesn't matter who it is because everybody has their own opinion on how this works. The main thing to recognize here is that price doesn't move in one straight line. When somebody is in a position moving a market this way, profits have to be taken. And the profits happen at really obvious levels because you have to decide when you're going to get out of a trading position. I use this myself for getting out of trading positions. And it's when price comes to the next level or area where we're going to see some resistance, right? So these 4-hour candle body closes, these are my entries. If we have a particularly long candle wick here, like this, I might look to refine it. I have no idea what is a long wick on Bitcoin, to be honest, because the numbers are so large. You know, I'm used to trading the Forex majors, miners, and some of the exotics. But it's irrelevant. The point is, when price gets here, we're going to see a pullback. And so, you know, in this case here, you see that we got a nice strong move in. That's what we were looking for, right? And then price hits the level and then moves back the other way. That is what we're always looking for with the trade. It's that simple, right? So the only thing that's going to catch you out is whether or not price is going to be overextended. So on this move here, the only indicator that I'll allow you to use is one that's called average true range. And the reason I say allow is because I see people with so many indicators on their chart that it just gives me anxiety looking at their dog's dinner of a mess on the chart. You know, it looks like something vomited all over it and you can't really make out what the hell is going on. I like my charts nice and clean and clear. Because you need to have a clean and clear mind when you're trading. You need to know exactly why you're getting into the trade. It needs to be calm. It needs to be almost feel easy, right? So average true range is this white line that you see here. If I could switch it on and turn it back, if I switch it off rather and turn it back on, you can see it flashing on my chart. This is a nice indicator to see if price is overextended. It takes the average movement of price over the last 20 days. At least that's how I set mine to. And it gives you an idea of when price is going to be overreached, stretched, right? So if price moves really nicely in the day, like if we were to get up here now on Bitcoin from this particular move, I would sell that all day long and I would sell it back into this area here. Why? Because this is where price last struggled. Price came up, came back down, right? This whole area here is obviously some kind of consolidation. So that's where I'm going to take my first profits. And that's when people say, James, you know, you don't really take that bigger profits on your trades, do you? And I'm like, yes, buddy, but my psychology comes first, before my capital, before my P&L, right? So what am I doing here? I'm protecting my psychology by always ensuring that I pay myself first. If I always pay myself first, I'm always taking profits. Nobody ever went broke taking profits, right? And I increase my confidence because I know that when I take a trade, it has a very, very high chance of working. Why? Because I'm the one taking it. That's not a brag on me. It's just the fact that I've done this over and over and over again. I've seen certain situations in the market, and that's just allowed me to take what is already an incredibly simple approach and just fine tune it using what I would call my trading intuition, which is something that, you know, people talk about, but don't really explain where it comes from. It comes from tracking what you do and seeing stuff over and over again. So you've got to be involved in the markets to get better. So the day you start is the day you can start improving, which sounds very obvious. But like if you come to trading and then you go away from trading, then you come back to trading, you go away from trading, you're not going to make that much progress. But if you commit, one of the things you can do to commit is join Leveled FX. I guarantee you, if you follow everything that I'm doing in there on a daily basis, just for a 3-month period, you'll already be a profitable trader. You know, there's no guarantees. I'm not selling you anything. So if you don't become a profitable trader after 3 months, like, don't come to me and complain. Like, I've taken no value from you. I've only given value. So, but yeah, the point is, you can do this. This is incredibly simple to follow, and it's just about consistency, showing up and tracking what you're doing, all of which I teach in the classroom in Leveled FX. So if you want to go and check it out, the link's in the description. But anyway, that's how I trade. Strong move into a level, price overextended, take the damn trade. That's all you need to do. I don't wait for confirmation. I'm not looking for a sign from the universe to get involved. I'm just looking for the fact that price has moved enough in one direction and it's due a pullback. That's it. So, yeah. Janad says he has terrible internet. All good. I have days like this. Usually when I'm trying to do a call, it goes in and out. Bernard, I'm still having trouble drawing the APS. Any advice on selecting the APS? APS meaning area of potential struggle. For those of you, look at this. Like a professional. Stick it on my screen. And also, I struggle with using the average, the area of potential struggle versus like a 20 pip retracement. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. But first, I'm going to run through my trades, and then we can get into that. So for you guys who have come here to see what happened this week, let's go ahead and get into that now. So obviously, I was looking at Bitcoin to start with here. This trade was from last week. As you can see here, 4-hour candle body close. What happened? Price came in and tagged the level, and off we went. So price was pretty overextended here. We were close to average true range on my chart here, which is the reason I took the trade. And then, yeah, we got the move away. First area of potential struggle for me, what I do to find my first profit target is I drop down the time frames, and I'll usually look for the last consolidation before the move into the level. What the hell does that mean? Right. For those of you that ask me time and time again, what is an area of potential struggle? It is going to be different on each instrument that you trade. But the easiest way for me to define it is it's going to be the last consolidation before price moved into the level. So price came down like this, and then we consolidated here, right? And then we moved down into the level. And then when we came back up, that first consolidation area, that was my first profit target. That's it. That is all it is. It doesn't mean price can't go further. It can. But I know from my own data that as long as I follow this concept on everything that I do, I'm always paying myself. From every trading idea, I'm always paying myself. Now, there are things and clues that will make me not want to take a level. Like, for example, if price was to come down and just hover just before the level, more than likely. So if we saw this, if price came down, and we saw like it didn't quite tag the level and it just consolidated like this, more often than not, that means the level is about to get smashed. And then potentially the backup level, which is this level just below, that one will come into play, and that's the one that will work, right? So there are little clues with price action, but again, I don't talk about that stuff too much because it isn't the focus. The focus is a strong move into the level, price overextended. If all you do is do that, the conversation I had with, I'll mention old Alex again here, because he did actually send me his trading history a week or two ago, like this week maybe. I think it was last week. The reason Alex has such a high hit rate here is because Alex is someone who waits till price is always past average true range, right? That's just something that he's decided to do. So he wouldn't have touched this Bitcoin trade unless it was actually past the average true range for the day, right? And you can trade like that if you want to. Just what I find with over time, and like that's great for Alex right now, because what he's doing is he's building his own confidence, and he's getting that confidence up so that he can be more involved in the markets and trust himself more. If he trusts himself more, he won't hesitate to take the trades that he needs to take. So yeah, that's something that you can do. Here, my trade from this week on Bitcoin, this one was overextended. This was that was the main reason for taking the trade. So what was it? It was a 4-hour candle body close. You can see the candle body close is right here, right? Big long wick on that. Not afraid of it though, because we had a nice strong move in. So we had this strong move up here, consolidation. Let's drop down the time frame so it's a bit easier to see what was going on. So we had a strong move up to here, consolidation just here, and then a strong move into the level that I was waiting on. And from that level, we came back, and this was my first area of potential struggle. Why? It was the top of the consolidation before the last move in. That was it. That's why I took my profits there. And as you can see, if I had not taken my profits there, yes, I could have got twice as much out of what I actually took. Don't care. I don't even think about it. The idea is that I know price is going to pull back here. How much? I don't know, right? But something reasonable, I would say, right? Some kind of reasonable profit taking. And the reasonable profit taking is down to the first area of potential struggle. And that's it. And then we obviously had the election, and we had a very bullish dollar, which also led to a big very bullish stock market, and basically like risky assets. So stock market is considered a risky asset. It is just defined as risk on in kind of conditions. Whereas the opposite of that is when the market is fearful and they want to get out of risky investments like businesses. So the S&P 500, the US 30 will drop, and all indexes across the world. And you'll see things like gold pumping, which you've seen like probably the last quarter is what was happening most of the time. We saw we did still see like a bullish stock market, but we saw more of a kind of risk off environment. And so obviously Trump being in and beating the drum of making America great again and how everything's going to be absolutely amazing from here, that's obviously got people fired up, and the market becomes less fearful and more risk averse, or more just looking to take more risk on their investments. So anyway, that was the Bitcoin trade. Hopefully that makes sense. Now I've got to run through another 10 trades real quick. So US 500 was the next one here. Again, this one was this level just over here. Okay, so nice strong move in. Okay, almost price overextended, almost. But I don't wait for that. Close enough is good enough. We had a very subdued market conditions as well. So the market barely moved on Monday, Tuesday. It wasn't until later in the day on Tuesday when we got closer to the election results that things started to fire up. And so, yeah, I was actually consider myself quite lucky on this US 500 trade because I did take it quite late in the day. But once again, a good idea of why you should always take your profits at the first area of potential struggle. And this did just tag me out. Just got tagged out on this for a nice healthy profit. Again, guys, profits, they get big when your capital gets big. And your capital, I can't tell you how fast your capital can grow if you just acquire the skill of trading. People will focus so much on like how much they can make on their little 5-10 grand account. Just don't. The skill of trading is far greater than the capital that you acquire to trade. You can get capital from anyone, anywhere, anytime. Having money is just as much of a problem as not having money. In the sense that when you have a lot of money, you need to put it somewhere because it is constantly being eroded by inflation if you just leave it sitting around. So I know if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of money, hearing somebody that say that having money is a problem, I'm not saying that it's problematic to have more money. I'm just saying that it takes someone to have money to realize that having it is also a problem as well as not having it. When you have something, you have something to lose. When you have nothing, you're a very dangerous person. You've got nothing to lose. You can go all in on pretty much anything that you put your mind to. It's a very powerful position to be in. So if you ever complain, especially like a lot of the younger guys watching this, you're at a point in your life where money's scarce, you don't have a lot of it, but you have dreams and hopes and desires of one day reaching that point. Just know that you're in the best possible position right now where you can just risk it all and it won't even matter because you've got nothing to lose. So yeah, that was the US 500 trade. Strong move in. Price pretty much, well, I would consider this overextended for the conditions we saw that day, and then we got the pullback. Euro dollar short on Tuesday. This was before the election as well. I got to say on this as well, like I did feel like a bit of a degenerate gambler going into these trades. Now, I'll say that because a little bit of drawdown on euro dollar, not a lot, 11 pips. But I was quite confident that we were going to work off this daily level. So you can see we've got the daily candle body close, which I've marked up in green there. That's what we pinned perfectly. And then we made the pullback. Where I was in from was the 4-hour level. So if we go to the 4-hour here, it's this one here. This is my entry to get involved. Okay, so entering a couple of pips ahead just for the spread, especially expecting volatile conditions. Backup level just above. So if this level failed and I saw the daily level breach, the daily level wasn't something I was going to get involved in again. It was 10 pips away from my entry. 10 pips is nothing. So yeah, price was overextended. As you can see here, this was the average true range on the day. So we were at it, or the level was just inside it. The only thing that did make this slightly more high risk is we were getting close to the US election results. And I entered with lower risk. and decided that this was my vote. So, if not my vote, it was my prediction for the US election. So it was. I'm not going to say it was a gamble because it met every trading condition that I wanted. We had a strong move up into the level. This very strong move on Tuesday out of a very, very slow day. And yeah, once we hit the level, I think it was during the night, we saw our pullback. And I took profits on the first area of potential struggle there. Oh, but James, look at this huge move you missed out on. Again, guys, don't care. Like, you can go for these moves all day long, but I'll still be here doing this 5 years from now. Will you be as well if you're just relying on trades like this? I don't know. I think it takes a very special type of individual to be able to take loss after loss, waiting on a much bigger move to cover all the losses and put you back into profit. Like, that's just not how I want to trade. I want to be calm, clear, and just at a point where I can repeatedly do the same things each week, without worrying if it was luck or not, right? So that was the euro dollar short on the Tuesday. You can also see the euro dollar long that I took on the Friday. Same stuff, guys. Like, if this is not going in yet, I don't know what I have to do to show you. Dollar CAD long, same day, same position. This one needed a backup level. So this was the 4-hour level. It stuck out like a sore thumb. I was like, that's a nice level. Here was average true range. So we were past it. So it met every condition. Nice, strong move in. The only thing I didn't like too much is we did have a little interaction here between where average true range was and where we came up to, but it was 8 pips. So it was a little bit of a consolidation just there, which was a bit of a clue that this level might get smashed, right? And I knew that going into it, but I didn't mind because we had the backup level just beneath, 22 pips away, which I was fully willing to take. True story, I didn't actually take the backup level because it happened during the night, and I do have a rule where I don't leave pending orders overnight. So I just kept my stop where I wanted it. Have in mind that I was also in euro dollar short, which was the same move, right? I was looking for dollar strength to come through. Dollar strength meaning the euro would drop and the dollar CAD would pump. So it was the same trade. So I didn't want to be too over risked on any of these trades. We were going into a US election result as well. So that was fairly high risk. But yeah, if this had happened during the day, I would have absolutely entered as well on this backup level. And I would have taken that back to the first entry and then probably just closed it out there with the break even on the first trade, if that makes sense. So close the first trade, break even, take your profits on the second one. And I do that not a lot of the time, but I do it when I'm wrong about which level we're going to see the big reaction from. And it happened to me twice this week. So first of all on dollar CAD, which I'll allow because we had US elections. It wasn't your average week, it wasn't your typical week, let's say. But that's what happened there. Strong move into the level. And then we saw our nice pullback, pull away. So yeah, very, very nice trade. I know some people in the community got that as well. Wednesday morning, woke up to silver dollar. Guys, this was it. I'll rewind price because this one happened super fast. So again, like, I'm using the higher time frames, the 4-hour, right? So we're still on the 4-hour chart. You can see where average true range is for silver for the day. This is the 2 a.m. 4-hour candlestick, right? And what we can see here is that we started to have a bit of a move in. Prices reacted just here. If I drop down to the hourly, I'm still sleeping at this point, right? So, boom. That's what happened between 5 and 6 a.m. This timing is London time. I am currently 2 hours ahead of London. So it was a reasonable hour of the day. I'd already probably had 2 coffees at least by that point. And so, yeah, I jumped into that. I jumped in. I had it planned from the day before. But as you can see here, if we look at the 15-minute chart, this was the, where are we? Yeah, this was the level. So price hit around 6:30, which is 8:30 my time. And this was the speed of the trade. So within the hour, we were done. Why did I take my profits here? Guys, look, this is the last consolidation, right? Before price moved into the level. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. I can talk more and more and more about the first area of potential struggle, but recognize this. There is no textbook definition I can give you. The reason that's the first area of potential struggle is because it was the last consolidation before the move into the level. That's the most, what's the word I'm looking for? That's the best way to describe the most occurrences of an average potential area of struggle, right? Because that is how I define it. It's basically where price is going to struggle, and it's going to struggle when it comes into a new zone. And that is the new zone. It's the one that it was just at, okay? So that was the silver trade. I was waiting on a buy as well. Exactly the same thing on the Friday, but didn't get it. As you can see here, would have been this lower level just coming in to retest, but we didn't get that. I could say it unfortunately, but it's not unfortunate. There will just be more trades. So that was the silver trade. New Zealand Swiss short on Thursday. That was up here. We had, this was it's a bit of a messy one, New Zealand Swiss. But that's kind of like the level, if you like. The reason for this one, 4-hour candle body close right here. And I entered a couple of pips just before, which you'll see me do on most trades that I take. It's just because I don't want to be missed by the spread. Like I see it too many times where I'm like completely right and my level gets pinned, like no drawdown at all. But on that, when that happens, you're quite often going to miss the trade because of the spread on the broker. So I always go just 2 pips ahead. It's my general rule for most things. So yeah, this one took a little bit of time to play out. Ended up having to, I believe we held this one overnight, till the night, yeah, and then we got the pullback to here. But guys, look, strong move into the level, 4-hour candle body close, average true range, price overextended, and then we see the pullback. Do you see that? Give me a thumbs up if you see that. That is all we're doing here. And this happens like over and over and over again, week in, week out. Tons of opportunities whilst you're asleep, whilst you're awake. It doesn't matter. There's just loads and loads of opportunities. I know some people in the community got involved here with the New Zealand Swiss trade a little bit soon. First of all, inside ATR. Secondly, arriving quite close to ATR in the morning. So we were already up here by like 9 a.m., which was, for me, I like price to work harder to get to where it needs to get to in the day. So for me, I want price to be somewhere middle, in between like average true range, because I want to see it work to get to where I don't think it can get to in the day. And if it gets to where I think it will get to, I'll be surprised, and therefore I'll be like, okay, I've got to take the trade now because it's done its job. I now need to do mine, right? That's how I look at it. I'd rather not take a trade than take a trade, which is a weird thing for a trader to say, but it's the opposite of how the majority of people will think, right? When you're a trader, you think that your job is to take trades. That is not the case at all. All right. Yeah. As a trader, your job is to just trade the market. Trade what you see, trade what the market gives you. So if the market doesn't give you anything, you've done your job as a trader. But you know, taking trades just because you're a trader now is not something you want to be doing. Cool. We got the thumbs up coming through. Yes, slap them on the video because that's how we game this YouTube algorithm. So I'm told. Still trying to find my way as a YouTuber. If ever I reach YouTube stardom, I will thank you guys. You, my pioneering followers. So thank you for being here. Lubomir says, I don't want to get a heart attack and die young. Day trading versus scalping explained. Yes, indeed, Lubomir. Yes, indeed. I really want to avoid any heart attacks. Also, just don't want to have too much of a stressful day trading, you know. And I can honestly tell you, trading does not stress me in the slightest. Yuji says slapping the like button, I hope. No, not something else. Jan used the backup level as well on. Sorry, man, there's a delay. New Zealand Swiss, I guess. Yeah, I remember you on the daily call. So, guys, in the paid group where I charge you money, that's right, I scam $125 out of people every single month to have daily access to me on the calls. So, on that particular morning, Jan was looking at New Zealand Swiss. He did take the trade from here and then used the upper level as a backup. I'd imagine when you're fairly new to this style, taking a backup level is a little bit of a scary thing to do, because often people will enter the first trade not really thinking that they might potentially have to go again on the second level. I don't advise taking, like, basically one of the things that changed my trading the most in the beginning was I stopped taking the trades from what I would consider my first level, and I just removed it. I moved it back one level. So what happened is I ended up missing a lot more trades. However, my hit rate went up dramatically, and I didn't find myself in having to take backup levels on pretty much every single trade that I was getting involved in. So that's just something that will happen, that you'll find you'll get better at over time. Also, in the beginning, like when you're trying to do this and follow along with what I'm doing, you're going to be a bit shit. I've got no other way of telling you this. What I do is incredibly simple. I probably make it look very simple too, which is easy to do. But the truth of it is that it will actually take you some time to get good at it. So when you're not good at it from day one, there will be other things that are at play here. It's not that like, oh, but James said it just needs to be a strong move into a level, price overextended, and then I take the level. If you just do that, you're going to have a pretty high hit rate anyway, right? But there's going to be other factors that come into this, like over risking. So you're going to be feeling emotional in the trade. You need to be in the trade in a position where you don't care about it. You have to not care about the outcome of the trade, because you know, or you'll get to a point where you know that most of the trades you take will work out anyway. Like, I don't enter a trade thinking it's not going to work. Like, if I entered trades thinking it wasn't going to work, then I'd probably be a really rubbish trader, because why am I entering a trade that I don't believe in? So one of the exercises I get people to do in the school community is to track every level, right? Track every level that you think is going to work out today. You determine whether you think it's going to work or not by saying good trade or bad trade. So like if the level's here, right, I would say, don't want to say this is a bad trade, but in my opinion, this is bad trade for this example, because I don't want this level. I don't want this trade at this level. So for me, that's a bad trade. Up here, that's a good trade. Right, so then I mark it, I put it in my tracker, and I show you exactly how to do this in the school masterclass. You just have to go to school.com/leveledfx, link in the description. And once you track that, you will see over time how often it works. So what you're doing there is you're starting to build your confidence. I want to be able to build your confidence without losing you money at the same time. Because when you lose money, you take out of your confidence bucket and put back into your fear bucket, right? So we want to take from the fear, give to the confidence. And the best way to do that is just to track this stuff over time. And then the next step is to then start executing orders in the market, meaning that you start taking the trades that you planned. And then the best way to start doing that is to use micro lots. So only take 0.01 lot trades. Why? Because the goal isn't to make money. You're not gonna make money as a trader the first week you start trading. You're an imbecile if you think that. Right? It's a skill, like it's insulting to people that have done it for years and know how difficult it is to go through the struggles to actually get to a position where you can do this consistently. So forget about making a couple grand or whatever it is that you want to do to start with, right? Forget about that. Micro lots, because you'll remove your emotion and you'll be able to trade without caring about it. This is better than trading a demo, because trading a demo, there is absolutely no capital involved at all. So I still want you to feel like you're trading real money, so you don't have to make that transition, which I think is almost like starting again. When most people go from demo to trading real money, it's like totally different. So anyway, micro lots. And then what you do is you start bringing up your lot size as your confidence increases. And that's it. That's the best way to get good at trading without losing your shirt. All right. So anyway, let's carry on with the trades. Pound Aussie long. This was also the same day, I believe. Where are we? GA is my first trade. Yeah, so here we go. guys, can we all see what happened here? 4-hour candle body close. Why was this the level that was more interesting for me, right? So people were like, well, why did you take that level, James? Why not that level? Why not that level, right? This level was the one because we were overextended on price, okay? So there's average true range. There's the 4-hour candle body close. A little bit of drawdown on GA. What we can do is we can replay price back to what was going on at the time. So I've gone down to the 15-minute here. So we can see what price was doing as it came in. And if you're ever in a trade and you're thinking, my God, I feel like I've been in this for days. When am I going to get out of this trade? What should I expect? Go back and do this on the last level that worked out and just remind yourself that sometimes every single candlestick here is a 15-minute time block, okay? So it might take a few hours. So to close your chart, set your alert on the first area of potential struggle, set your alert where things get hairy, right? And just close the damn thing. Stop watching it. There's nothing that watching it will do to help your trade along. The market doesn't care if you're watching or not. So do yourself a favor, save yourself a heart attack and an early death, and close the chart. Set your alerts. That's what they're there for. So the reason I'm doing this exercise, if I go over to Euro Aussie now, we can see Euro Aussie was almost at the level that I don't know if so this was the level here, right? I've removed it now because it's where price is at here. So Euro Aussie's on the level at the same time. After this strong move in. So this was another confluence for me. Why? Because Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie are correlated, right? You're basically trading Aussie dollar weakness and strength off the back of this. Then what you can do is look at Aussie dollar. Where were we with this? Well, Aussie dollar was overextended too, and at a level, right? So this was a trade that I took. I didn't take this one. I took this Euro dollar instead. That was the Trump results. But this is what we're looking at now here. This is the same time. So Euro Aussie about to pull back from this level, price overextended. Aussie dollar also about to drop. So we're going to see Aussie weakness, which means we will see Euro and Pound strength against it. That makes sense? So all of these, you're using levels now. So it's the same thing. I'm basically trading Aussie dollar, but I don't like to trade Aussie dollar because it's a bit slow moving for me. So what I tend to do instead is I go and trade the minor pair. So in this case, I decided Pound Aussie. I could have also taken Euro Aussie. It doesn't matter. I'm trading the Aussie dollar strength and weakness at this point. I don't know where the hell my chart's gone. There we are. That's what I'm trading at that point. The Aussie dollar weakness that's about to come in. So if we look at Euro Aussie, same thing. But it was on, where was it? Yeah, this level here. And then we got our reaction like this a little bit later. But it's the same damn move, all right? So just let that sink in because that's also, you know, how I like to trade and why I think, well, if you look at all the pairs that I have here, there's like over 30 different instruments that I'm looking at every single day. And people are like, wow, you track all that? Yes, it takes me like 2 seconds to move a level on my chart. After I'd finished this call, because I have to wait for this call now every week to update my charts because I like to keep everything on there as I had it from the week. But like the first thing I'm going to do on Pound Aussie is this. Right, job done. Move on to the next one. Okay, like that's it. Might be a little bit more involved. Like I'll spend a bit of extra care making sure I've got the level right on the candle body close. I can set an alert just before the level saying that we're near the level. And then I can decide tomorrow whether it's a trade that I actually want to take. If we were to get up there, right? We're miles off that for average true range at the moment. Pound Aussie is probably going to pull back slightly before we go further up, but we'll see. But anyway, that's kind of how I look to approach that. Euro Yen long Friday. Quite a few trades on Friday. Surprising actually. I thought I was done for the week after that Pound Aussie trade, but never say never. So Euro Yen on Friday was a real simple trade. I know that other people in the community had this too. And the reason I say other people in the community had this too, and like that's a flex for me because I'm not telling them to take these trades. I'm not going, hey guys, look, this is what, you know, take this trade, right? That's not the idea. I'm trying to get people to be able to take their own trades. So really happy to see that. I do talk about it on the daily analysis call, but other people were finding this stuff out for themselves beforehand. This level has moved again. Like, this is the thing this week. Something with the IC Markets data feed. Anyway, I'm going to leave it where it is because this is where I took the trade from anyway, and why. So 4-hour candle body close down here. Yes, price breached it earlier on, but like, guys, look at what happened. Strong move into the level, and then we got around 40 pips out of this one. Real simple trade, 40 pips up to the last consolidation area. Beautiful. Just like really easy trading. So that was euro yen. Nothing else to report there. Simple stuff. Level down here almost got hit as well. Didn't quite. The one that I took is New Zealand yen, but we'll get to that. Euro dollar long also on the same day. I mean, is there anything more obvious than that? Two levels. First one, which was price was overextended and breached. A lot of people, I think, would have got caught out by that level. Reason I didn't like that is we were very close to it the previous day. And I said, also, it's a Friday. So I really don't want to be taking this trade on euro dollar. And then I set an alert just here. Once it had cleared these wicks, the lows, as in it hadn't worked from this level just here. And I was like, damn it, this level is just too obvious. So the market just went, James, do you want some money to finish up the week? And I just had to say, all right, give me your money. And so that was that trade. And that's how you got to look at it. Like, they become so tempting because you're just like, well, if that level is breached, we're already overextended. If we were to get all the way down here, I'm going to have to take that trade. Have to take it. So that's what we did. We had to take it. It was around 20 pips or so off of that level. Beautiful. New Zealand yen long. I had to take a backup on this because I'm a terrible trader. So guys, like, this is what happened, and I'm still in this trade. Still in New Zealand yen. So what's happened here is this was the 4-hour level. I thought it was pretty safe because we had alignment with some other yen pairs, and also price would have been overextended or on ATR, so overextended without too much of a pullback yet. So I took the buy up here, and then we did see an initial reaction. If I go to it, pretty sure we did, or maybe we didn't. No. So we went into it. We sort of hovered there for a little bit. Maybe that's what I was talking about. Doesn't look like much on the yen chart, but no, it's only a few pips. It's nothing. So barely slowed price down, and then we just smashed into the lower level, and then we've come back up around halfway-ish at the moment. So we've got about 10 more pips to go. I am actually in profit in that trade at the moment going into the weekend, but I just decided that I would hold that into the new week. Don't do that very often, but in this occasion I have. Also haven't taken a loss for a very long time, so it was time. But it's still not a loss, so we'll see how that pans out this week. Jan says he's traded pound Aussie as well. Beautiful trade. Yeah, very nice. Glad to hear you managed to grab that. You're doing really well, Jan. Euro yen is what we were trading. Jan is your name. Up here for thinking. All right, so yeah, and 40 pip. Yeah, you took that euro yen exactly the same as me. So, have that as a confluence, as you doing a great thing, making leaps and bounds of progress. And you're seeing the levels working week in, week out for you now. Just a case of fine tuning what you're doing and just getting the experience in, just putting the reps in. That's it. Like, just keep showing up week in, week out, and try not to make this try not to build up too much resistance around like doing this stuff alongside me. I've got other stuff going on as well. Like, I'm not sitting here just thinking and talking about trading all day long. So you can fit this into your life. And I just think everybody should, because over time you will get good at it. And as you get better, obviously your life improves through your financial success, and the financial success will come from what you're doing here. Robel says, let's pin you up here. I'm back. Good to see. Yeah, and guys, if you've got any more questions before the end, I'll just cover them off, but I'll just finish off going through the rest of my trades here. But yeah, interesting stuff there with New Zealand yen. The euro dollar was fantastic trade. Oil was also a very, very obvious trade. Look at that. So we go up to the 4 hour. Yeah, so this was it. 4 hour candle body close. The timing on this one was the idea of like it's Friday. Profit taking is going to occur, and the timing was perfect. I couldn't see us getting down here, and even if we did, I would just take that as a backup level. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But yeah, fairly confidently got into this this trade here. So we'll see how that one pans out as well. At the moment, it's still open, but very nice trading opportunity, a very obvious level, and obviously we're running in profit on that at the moment. So that was it. That was my trading week. I hope you had a good one too. I hope some of the things that I've shared here have been at least a little bit insightful. Like I said, it's the same stuff. I do the same old thing week in, week out here, and I hope that it's not boring for you because it is just very samey. But the value or the message, let's say, from that you should get from me actually doing this stuff isn't necessarily exactly what trades I took this week, although there will be things to learn from that. The main thing is that I'm here doing this and showing up consistently to do it. That's what you need to do too. If you're not someone who's consistent at doing things in your life, start trading, put money on the line, and you will get better at that. I'm not asking like, I'm not saying if you're somebody that's inconsistent and, really needs to kick up the ass that trading is probably not for you. I'm saying that you probably need to kick up the ass and you need to change some stuff in your life. And therefore, trading will actually help make you a better person in other areas. Sounds a bit woo-woo, sounds a bit, bit out there, but it's just really true. Like that's how it is. You can't be a bad human and a successful trader. I just don't believe that you can. And if you are, then you're a bad human in other ways. But yourself, you will be kind to. Like you will improve yourself in every area. One thing I'm going to do now, just to wrap up the call, and you guys, if you've got any questions, you can pop them in below so I can come to them and cover them at the end. But for now, I'm just going to run through the old economic calendar for the week ahead. We've had a mental last week with the US elections. We've also had interest rate decisions like the pound, the Aussie dollar, can't remember. And also the federal interest rate decision. So the US dollar interest rate decision, which is becoming less and less interesting to the market by the looks of it. Less of a reaction off of interest rate decisions now. So it must be, inflation is calming down, or at least they say it is. Whether or not it is, I mean, nobody's putting the cash back inside the printer, so the money's still out there, inflation still exists, and we still have a problem, but at least the nice people in the suits have said that things are getting better. So things are getting better, folks. Royal Bank of New Zealand inflation expectations. We will be opening the Monday with that, so it'll be a Sunday night thing for anybody in the European zone. Nothing else on the day though. So Monday I'm expecting very subdued market conditions, meaning intraday key levels will work if you want to take them. So that means price isn't going to move quite so far as it normally would. Therefore, you don't need to be quite so cautious about drawdown and levels very, very far off into the distance getting hit, because they probably won't. Therefore, you can trade aggressively, meaning you don't need to wait for price to be super overextended. If you're trading a US election result, you want price to be overextended by a lot. You want price to get to a level where you think it's almost absurd that price would even get there. Okay. And the reason for that is because you're trading volatile market conditions. Therefore, you're going to trade defensively, not aggressively. Okay. Tuesday, we've got the employment figures for the pound. I won't skip over the euro as well. We've got harmonized index of consumer prices, so a bit of inflation data there on the euro. So we'll see if we get anything from that. Just be aware of it. I'm telling you these things not because I want you to be an expert on fundamentals and what the news means. Nobody bloody knows what the news events mean or what's going to happen. Nobody knows. Anybody telling you different, absolute nonsense. So just be aware of them. And also try and build up like a mental record of what happens when you see them, so you get an idea of like which ones create the most volatility and then why. Like sometimes inflation figures will be things will be very volatile, and other times they won't be. So you've got to try and understand like what makes the market more fearful or more risk on than it usually would be. And the way to do that is just doing this enough over time. Like that's it. You don't have to be some genius or like you know your ins and outs of your fundamentals. I certainly do not. I just track it, so like I know what all the things are. That's it. So yeah, unemployment change, or the unemployment rate and the employment change on the pound on Tuesday morning. So that could be positive for the pound. The chart will tell us everything. We'll take a look at that nearer the time in the group. So if you're not in the group already, it's school.com/leveledfx. Link is in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe this video. These are my YouTube things that I need to say. We've got CPI on the dollar on the Wednesday, so that should get things moving in the afternoon. So that's inflation stuff once again. Yep. That's all I wanted to say on that. And then we've got a speech from the Royal Bank of Australia during the night. So just be aware of that speech if you are in any Aussie dollar trades later in the day on the Wednesday. Thursday, so actually, looking at the week, Monday's going to be pretty subdued. Tuesday, we've got a busy morning with the pound, so we might have some movement there, but then a fairly subdued day. So Monday, Tuesday, expect to be quiet, except the morning on the Tuesday. Wednesday, quiet morning, then inflation data on the US in the afternoon, so volatility in the afternoon, be aware of that. Use that to your advantage, pick the levels that are likely to get hit during that New York Open. When the data gets released. Thursday, we've got the unemployment and employment figures on the for Australia. So we'll see how that pans out. It's during the night, so be aware of that. Again, entering any trades late in the day on the Wednesday. Figure this out for your own time zone. I'm talking from the around close to the GMT number. So London is currently GMT, and I'm currently GMT +2 or 3 or 4. So I'm looking at London, New York. So London for me is morning, New York is afternoon. Unemployment and employment data. And then we've got GDP on the euro later in the day. So fairly busy morning on Thursday. And then we've got initial jobless claims, on the US in the afternoon, leading to producer price index, PPI, food and energy, which might do something for the market. So a bit of volatility expected in the afternoon as well on the Thursday. We've got a speech from Powell. God knows what he's going to be talking about. And then an hour later, we've got a speech from Bailey from the Bank of England. And then we've got GDP on the yen during the night. So just be aware of all of that for the Thursday. And then Friday, we're kicking off with Chinese retail sales, but I don't care about that. I just don't really look at the Chinese data at all. It doesn't affect my trading or how I trade, so I just kind of ignore it. Unless I'm looking for answers. If something strange happened and I want to understand it in the market, China is a beast globally, so it's not that it's irrelevant. It's just it doesn't affect me a lot of the time. So if I'm looking for answers and I can't find one, I will look at Chinese data and see if there's something that happened there. But otherwise, I just kind of ignore it. GDP on the pound on Friday in the morning. So could be a nice start to the day on Friday. So be prepared Thursday night going in, have your levels marked up. And then not a lot until retail sales in the afternoon on the dollar. And is that it? That's it. So Monday, Tuesday, fairly slow days. Wednesday, Thursday, also going to be fairly slow. And then the only thing on the Friday to be aware of is the GDP on the pound in the morning. But then I'm expecting fairly slow day leading into retail sales. Don't think we'll see much from that on the US dollar, but there might be something. So that's it, guys. That's my long video about my weekly breakdown. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed that and learned something. If you do want to learn more, it's school.com/leveledfx. Really appreciate if you could help me get the word out about it. It is 100% free to join. Like I said, there's nothing for sale. I mean, I could always take more money, but I don't like your subscription to the paid group isn't going to change my life, but it does allow me to filter people who are committed to those that are just here to kick the tires and tell me that trading is a scam, despite me being here doing this week in, week out. So yeah, if you do want to go ahead, at least go try out the free group. The free group is perfect for you if you're somebody that wants to commit to a trading style that that you can do alongside anything else. Like if you've got a busy job, or if you've got a business that you run, or I don't know, like you don't need a lot of time to do this stuff. It will take more time from your calendar, so you will feel like there's more work to do in the day. But like I said at the beginning of the video, of the live stream, this stuff will get easier and easier over time. It will become more habitual, but habits are formed from routine. So you have to create the routine. The routine will seem clunky and, you know, not easy. It won't come naturally to you, but then doing it enough times over time, you will actually form the habit. And once you've got the habit, it will feel like you're doing almost nothing. Like, you know, you may look at me and be like, how the hell does James get in front of a camera and talk to himself for an hour and 20 minutes? Well, I'd probably ask you the same question a few years ago. But if you do it enough times over time, it just kind of becomes habitual. Like, I don't really think about it. I just switch on the camera and I mean, my kids probably think I'm nuts, but yeah, I just come and Daddy's in his office talking to himself for an hour and 20 minutes. But that's trading as well. Like the habits will be formed, and that's it. But in trading, I'll just end with this. If you're really serious about making it work and making this something that you will earn a good income from, and an income that scales incredibly quickly, almost all at once, I would say, but you have to be patient enough to get to that point. If you're that type of person that wants to guarantee that this is going to work, put me aside, leveled effects, whatever, like take that out of the equation. The two things you need to believe are, you need to firstly believe that it's possible to make a lot of money from trading. And I think there are a couple of ways to do that. First of all, well, let's look at the ways that are not good ways of doing that. Finding somebody on Instagram that has rented a Lamborghini in Dubai and is telling you that they'll teach you. All you have to do is buy their $997 course. Like, probably avoid that. No, not all of them. Maybe there's some value in some of them. I don't know. I'm not here to troll other people and their stuff. But you want to find someone that gives you enough belief that this trading thing can actually work. And the second thing is, you need to believe in yourself. Like, you need to believe that I'm not someone who's special. And the other people that you may be looking at, they're not special either. Like, they all started from the place of not knowing what the hell they were doing in the markets, because this isn't like running, like you're just born and you can run well. This is something that is not natural at all. So it's a skill that can be acquired. So everybody started in the similar position to you, which means you can also excel and learn this skill that they learned. So you really need to find somebody that you can trust, because if you doubt even for a moment, like if we go back to me, if you doubt for a single moment that any of the stuff that I share here, it just isn't, I don't know what the word is, isn't the truth or believable, or like, let's say real, right? If you don't believe any of this is real, you will not be able to make it as a trader, because you'll always blame me or the other people. And also you need to understand that you can actually do this. And the only way I can help you do that is show you how simple this stuff is. Strong move into a level, price overextended. That's it. That's all you're looking for. And track everything that you do. And if you do those things, like that's kind of like, I just revealed the entire course. in a couple of sentences. There is more to it than that, I guarantee. But yeah, it is incredibly simple, and I'm trying to show that it is that simple. And you will not be good at it to start with. You will get better at it. Riding a bike is simple, but when you start, you can't do it, right? So just have that in mind. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up rather than just rambling on. It is Sunday as well, so I want to go ahead and go do some other stuff. I'm sure you do too. If you are still on the on the live stream, thank you. I've gone over by 22 minutes, actually 19 minutes. Yeah, that link again, school.com/leveledfx. If you're not already involved, go get yourself involved. If you are serious at all about becoming a successful trader alongside whatever it is you do now, a job, a business, whatever, I think everybody should have a go at it. So the link's in the description if you want to do that. You guys have a great weekend, or what's left of it, and I will catch you either in the community or on the next live stream. Take it easy. Bye-bye.